have spent decades inside the rooms where the gears of the global machine turn, and I can tell you, the silver window is slamming shut. We are standing at the precipice of a financial reset, a repricing under immense stress that will redefine wealth as we know it. This isn't just about a number. $70 isn't the end of the move. It's the point where denial begins to fail, where the paper illusion finally cracks. Most people walk through life believing that wealth is something you see on a glowing screen or a piece of paper. They are wrong. Real wealth is the physical fabric of reality, and for thousands of years, that fabric was silver. This isn't retail euphoria or a late cycle chase. It's a brutal, silent repricing that the banking elite have tried desperately to suppress for over a century. When gold anchors and silver accelerates, it tells you liquidity is tightening somewhere out of sight, deep within the plumbing of the global banking system. Capital is rotating back to what settles without trust, away from the digital mirage. This acceleration is a liquidity warning, a seismic tremor indicating a far greater shift beneath the surface, a shift that central banks cannot control. Silver, the historical people's money, is awakening from a long, enforced slumber. This isn't a speculative bubble. It's a fundamental recalibration of value, triggered by forces beyond the reach of algorithms and paper promises. It's the ultimate canary in the coal mine, signaling an imminent, irreversible collapse of the existing financial architecture. To understand the chaos unfolding, you must first comprehend the deliberate assassination of money that occurred over centuries. Fiat currency, born from debt and sustained by trust, launched a war against the tangible. The very fabric of our monetary system was severed from its physical roots, replaced by a debt-based illusion. The betrayal began in 1873, a year known to historians as the crime of 1873. The United States Congress, under the influence of gold-backed European financiers, effectively stripped silver of its legal tender status. This wasn't a mere policy change. It was a financial assassination, designed to consolidate power into a singular, gold-controlled elite and enslave the common man to a paper promise. For decades, the banking elite maintained this charade through the fractional reserve bullion system. For every physical ounce of silver existing in a COMEX vault, hundreds of paper claims were created. This high-stakes game of musical chairs has allowed them to manipulate price through sheer volume of unbacked promises, keeping the people's money chained. The systematic draining of the U.S. strategic stockpile of billions of ounces in the mid-1900s was another calculated move. They flooded the market to artificially depress the price, ensuring silver remained cheap and ignorable while paper currency gained dominance. It was a brilliant, insidious strategy to keep the truth hidden, until now. But the system is now snapping back, tearing at the seams of the paper reality. 2026 is no longer a distant future. It's the moment the physical market finally decouples from the paper price. This isn't a prediction. It's an observation of an inevitable thermodynamic principle. Paper cannot suppress substance forever. The artificial suppression is failing, not because of regulation, but because of relentless industrial demand. The dam they built with paper promises is cracking under the pressure of physical need. We are watching the rebirth of money that fiat tried to kill, a resurgence driven by the very machines that power our modern world. In a world drowning in digital debt, the very concept of trust in our financial institutions is eroding. Fiat currency, born from decree, demands absolute faith in central banks and governments, a faith increasingly misplaced. Silver, however, requires no such trust. It is simply physical truth. Silver offers settlement without trust. It is an asset that is no one else's liability. When you hold silver, you hold a piece of the world that no king, no central bank, no digital ledger can devalue through decree or algorithm. It is the ultimate insurance against a system built on increasingly fragile promises. This fundamental shift is triggering a massive capital flight, a silent rotation of wealth. The smart money is quietly exiting digital illusions and unsecured promises, seeking the bedrock of real assets. They are moving towards the physical fabric of reality, to what truly settles without a counterparty. Gold has always been the king's money, the anchor of states and central banks, designed to sit in dark vaults. It offers stability, but in this coming storm, silver provides the acceleration. It is the dynamic force, the coiled spring waiting to release centuries of suppressed value. The historical gold-to-silver ratio, standing at an anomalous 80-to-1 today compared to its 15-to-1 average, is a stark warning. This extreme divergence is not sustainable. The coiling effect is reaching its breaking point, and when it snaps, silver will not just rise. It will explode past previous records. This isn't about mere investment. It's about survival in an economy where trust is dead. The rotation into silver is a move towards financial sovereignty, a personal declaration that you understand the true nature of wealth. As the old financial architecture crumbles, those who hold physical will dictate the terms of the new. As silver crosses the $70 threshold, watch how the media and financial pundits react. They will dismiss it as a fluke, speculation, or irrational exuberance. This is the denial phase, a desperate attempt to maintain the illusion, to keep the masses blind to the true nature of the repricing. But behind closed doors, the same banks and industrial giants will be scrambling. While they publicly downplay silver's significance, they are quietly attempting to secure physical supply. This is the stark reality of institutional hypocrisy. Preach patience to the public, panic privately. The greatest irony is that the architects of the digital age, the industrial giants in solar and AI, are now caught in their own trap. They need silver, the most conductive element, to build their futuristic empires. They cannot build a solar panel or an AI server out of a paper contract or a digital derivative. This is the tipping point, the moment when physical demand from critical industries can no longer be met by the paper market. What happens when a global manufacturer needs 10,000 ounces, and the vault manager simply says, 0? The entire supply chain grinds to a halt. The final piece of the puzzle is the BRICS alliance. Rumors are swirling that the new Eastern trade bloc is preparing a commodity-backed currency. If Russia, China, and India include silver in their basket of assets, the dollar's dominance is over. The paper trap will snap shut, and those left holding dollars will watch their purchasing power evaporate. 2026 is the definitive moment of truth. The convergence of industrial necessity, monetary history, and systemic failure is unavoidable. The silver window is closing, and the exit is getting narrower every day. The time for denial is over. The time for action is now. When the world finally wakes up to the scarcity and true value of the people's money, you will have a choice: to be an owner of the physical future, or a mere spectator to the greatest wealth transfer in human history. The $70 signal is not the end. It is the beginning of the end for paper and the rebirth of true money.